evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Full Story here on WYAB 103.9. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at TheFullStoryFM and email us at TheFullStoryFM@gmail.com. And today we have a special guest with us. We have Miss Staci O'Neill, who is running for county court. Miss O'Neill, it's glad to have you on.
It's good to be here.
All right, Miss O'Neill, we're going to kind of get into you. And she said we're going to open it up. She'd like to open it up to callers. So if you want to call in, it's 601-879-0002. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. Is that okay?
That sounds good.
Alrighty. So I first want to talk about what county court is, because not every county in Mississippi actually has a county court. I think, in fact, Madison County is one of only 21 counties in Mississippi with a county court. Now, the county courts, this is kind of the definition I actually found on the Mississippi website. It says the county court shares jurisdiction with justice court in all matters, civil and criminal. The county court also shares jurisdiction with circuit and chancery courts in matters of law and equity up to $200,000. The county court judges also hear non-capital felony criminal cases transferred by the circuit court, including youth court. So like I said, that's the dictionary definition, and thankfully most people will not have to ever deal with the county court. But Ms. O'Neill, my first question to you is, in your own words, what is the duty and responsibilities of a county court judge? And in essence, what service does a county court judge do for the people in the county?
Well, Matt, I think that the county court is sort of the court of ordinary people.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, there were almost 1,600 cases in county court last year in 2015. The biggest number of that, almost 1,000 of those cases, were debt collection cases.
Really?
Where people don't pay medical bills or credit card bills or other types of bills, and a lawsuit's filed to collect those bills.
Mm-hmm.
Those types of cases don't ordinarily go through a trial. But after debt collection, the biggest category of cases would be youth court.
Okay.
And the youth court cases would be cases involving child abuse, child neglect, and delinquency.
Okay.
So, and then after that would just be regular lawsuits where someone's trying to collect less than $200,000.
Right. And just a little bit, we're going to get to your experience. You get a lot of experience in youth court, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But just so everybody knows, everybody in the county votes for you, right?
Correct.
So if you're in Madison County, you should be able to see Staci O'Neill's name on the ballot in November.
Absolutely.
So now I want to talk a little bit about you, Miss O'Neill. First personally and then professionally.
Okay.
So you and your husband, who is here with us today, Greg, for moral support. And I've always said it's very important for your spouses to be. My mom was very involved in my dad's campaign, so it's really good to see Greg here and offer that support for you. Now, y'all have been residents in Madison County for over 20 years, correct?
Yeah, 22 years.
So what brought you here in the first place?
Well, what brought us here actually was Ridgecrest Baptist Church.
Okay.
My husband is the worship pastor and pastor to senior adults at Ridgecrest, and so 22 years ago, that's what brought us here, and that's what's kept us here.
And actually, I noticed on your bio that y'all both went to seminary school. So were you in the ministry before?
Well, we got married. I was in the middle of my college career at LSU,
Mm-hmm.
and don't hold that against her. Sorry.
Well, I also hold the MC Law thing against you, but that's not.
Okay, yeah. And so we got married in the middle of my college career, and Greg was in seminary in Fort Worth, Texas, and so while he was there, I was a student as well. And
Okay.
it was fun to go to school together, and then after we both graduated from seminary, I went back and finished my undergraduate degree.
Okay. And you went to law school a little bit later in life than most people. I know I went straight from undergrad.
I did. I was actually, when I graduated from college, it was in education, so I taught public school for a few years.
Okay.
And then had 2 children and stayed home with them during their toddler years.
Right.
When my son started kindergarten, I started law school. We
So-
actually bought our book packs together.
So what was your motivation to go to law school?
Well, that was a long time ago, Matthew, but my main motivation was I felt like that I could do good and help people.
Right.
And Isaiah 1:17 was sort of the verse that led me. It seek justice, encourage the oppressed, defend the case of the fatherless, and plead the case of the widow. And that has been on a plaque in my office since then.
I really love that birthday. So I've always been a defense-minded person, so I like going to that one as well. So what type of law did you practice coming out of law school?
Well, originally, I worked in sort of a medium-sized firm in litigation and did medical malpractice defense work, but also did some insurance defense work in litigation, and did some plaintiff work, sort of did litigation from all sides.
Right. And you started your own firm in 2006, right?
I did.
And what's been your main practice there?
Well, in 2006, went out on my own,
Uh-huh.
and within a month or two of doing that, got a phone call from Judge Agan, who was the county court judge at the time, asking if I would, in addition to the rest of my practice, also start doing youth court. And
Okay.
specifically start with the juvenile drug court.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a big part of what I do. Also, still doing litigation, more on a smaller basis when you're in a law firm by yourself.
Right. And so, like you said, you started acting as a
Okay.
youth court public defender. Now, what was your motivation to become that youth court defender? I know you talked about Isaiah. Was that still that part of you? You wanted to help these
Yeah.
troubled youths?
Pretty much, Judge Agan asked me to be the public defender in the drug court to begin with. My first reaction was, I don't know anything about drugs. And he said, Staci, I think you're perfect for the job. And drug court is more of a probationary type program, where you
Right.
see the same kids week after week, and it's more a sustaining program. So my husband and I have always been involved in youth and children ministry, and that just seemed to be a perfect fit.
Yeah. You know, I've always been a big believer in youth courts. I believe it gives these teens a second chance, and to me that is very important because, you know, one mistake that a person makes when they're 15 or 14 years old, I don't think should affect them for the rest of their life. The same thing with the drug court.